All right, let's look at this. Still working on factoring. So, again, get out your factoring rule sheet. Rule number 1, this is n squared minus 49. So rule number 1, any greatest common factors. Well, this one doesn't even have a number and this one doesn't even have a letter. So no greatest common factors. Rule number 2, is this a binomial? Oh, this time the answer is yes. So now we need to keep asking the questions on the back here. Question number 1 then takes us to question number 2, which is the next question is this a minus? If the answer is yes, then we keep going. Next question is, can I get an even square root of n squared? In other words, what times itself 2 times will get me n squared? Well, the even square root of n squared is n. And then, how about, can I get an even square root of 49? Well, the even square root of 49 is, let's see, 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 7 is 49. Oh, there it is right there. 7. I just answered all the questions yes. So now we've determined that this is a difference of squares. Difference meaning subtraction. Difference is the name of the answer when we subtract. So difference of squares. Well, if you notice on your factoring rule sheet, when you look at it, you can see the pattern for difference of squares. It looks like this to begin with. And then when we factor it, it goes into this, okay? Where our x's are the same, our y's are the same, our signs are different. So once we've figured this out, we just need to put it into this pattern, and we're done. So n plus 7, n minus 7, okay? Now, I'm going to take just a second. I don't want you doing this because these are patterns you need to be able to see and do directly right to the answer every single time. Remember when I had you multiplying these and you had to go directly to the back to this? So let's prove, I'm going to prove that this is happens every single time. So we're going to check it. Foiling, n times n, n squared. N times negative 7, negative 7n. 7 times n, positive 7n. Positive 7 times negative 7, negative 49. What do you notice about the two middle terms? They have opposite signs, so they cancel each other out, and we are left with the n's, which is n squared minus 49. This happens every single time. And if you practiced back on 3.1, you practiced really well recognizing this pattern as difference of squares and being able to go directly to that. This is going to be really easy for you. Let's do some more. Do not change their positions. Just work with it the way it is. So, rule number 1, any greatest common factors? Well, this one doesn't even have a number. This one doesn't even have a letter, so no. Rule number 2, is it a binomial? Yes. Is this negative? Yes. Can I get an even square root of 64? Yes. Can I get an even square root of t squared? Yes. Oh, difference of squares. So 8 plus t, 8 minus t. Just going to do a couple more, just to give you some practice. Oh, one more, I think. Okay? Rule number 1. Any greatest common factors. oh yeah, I can get a 2 out of each of these, and everybody has at least one x. He only has one, so that's the most I can get out. Okay? So that's 64 minus x squared. Oh my goodness. Now this one turns out to be exactly like this one, except with a different letter. So, still looking at this though, we'll go on. Rule number 2 is what's left, a binomial? Yes, it is. Is this negative? Yep. Can I get an even square root of 64? Yep. Can I get an even square root of x squared? Yep. So, again, whenever you factor a greatest common factor out, make sure you always bring it down. Okay? And then this is 8 plus x and 8 minus x. That's all there is to difference of squares.